Good evening, YouTubers. Welcome to episode 70 of Shrigleytube TV. I'm here at the NEC, as you might have gathered, doing the auto jumble, and with the most important lady in the entire building. This is Helen. Helen is the organizer.
Hi.
Helen, thanks for talking on Shrigleytube.
No, you're welcome.
Yeah, have you enjoyed the show?
It's been brilliant. The amount of different items that we've had in the auto jumble is absolutely fantastic. I'm really, really pleased with it, and everyone's made so much of an amazing effort.
I can't. When you said there was 75,000 people passing through, I didn't realise.
I know you didn't believe me, did you?
I've been run off my feet.
I know, but that's good.
Dealing with rude Irishmen. Yeah, it's been amazing. And we took pockets full of money as well.
That's good. Do I get my commission?
Absolutely. We'll get you some flowers or something. For race retro, yeah?
All right, then, go for it.
But yeah, no, it's... how many horses are open?
So we have 6 halls.
6 halls?
6 halls.
Wow, I mean, I've not even left the stand yet because I don't have time. I'm hoping that today it quietens off and I can just leave Simon on the stand and they can go... I want to get some interviews of people with the cars and stuff.
You need to have a look around, Andy.
Yeah, it's mega, isn't it?
You need to have a look around.
I had someone say to me, just so you know, they said that they really enjoyed my auto jumble stand because it was such a mess and they like rummaging in the boxes. Look at all the boxes down there, all the treasure.
That's what they like.
Yeah,
that's what they like.
Yeah, no, it's been brilliant. I just wanted to say thank you very much, and
you're more than welcome.
And I really look forward to seeing you at I think Race Retro's our next one.
Race Retro, 21st to the 23rd of February at Stoneleigh Park in Warwickshire. And we've also got the restoration show, which is back here. In March, 21st to the 23rd of March.
I might do that. The one good thing about the NEC, apart from the fact you've got to walk 3 miles from the car, is it does have a lid. So, so if it rains or snows, we keep dry.
Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Helen.
You're welcome. Thanks, Andy.
Cheers. I bet that cat eats well. All the rats around here. It's Monday morning, and Bernie has been working his magic. So you can see what he wanted to achieve now. He's now got these cables fixed to here so that before they went in the top of the motor and it was that the big motor going up and down that made the cables wear, you know, obviously up and down hundreds of times over the years. So got the cables there now going over. And Bernie, I'm not gonna video you, don't worry. Bernie's just told me that he's fired up the Star Delta box, which is this here. And what did it do, Bernie? Did it click in?
It clicked in.
It clicked in. So I was really concerned that whatever that magic inside there is, that basically got a bit of an hard time when we had the firework display coming out the top of the motor. But if that's okay, and that's okay, hopefully it'll work. What do you reckon, Burns? Yeah, he's giving me the thumbs up. Right, brilliant. Fingers crossed. What? Just not wanting to put you under pressure here, Bernie, but what does that box actually do? Because it's got 3-phase power going into it. Is it because the motor's so big it can't?
Yeah, it's called a Star Delta, so it starts on full load and then switches over to Star, and it takes less current.
Right.
Otherwise, you need Battersea Power Station here to run it.
Battersea Power Station. Yeah. Right, so it's just a way of getting the motor to go around without it
starting. Yeah,
just a starting thing, right?
Once it started, it's all right.
Brill. Well, I think when it went wrong last time, we fused the whole of Moss Road.
Yeah.
Right. It's the moment of truth. Bernie has finished the wiring job. Absolutely superb, that, Bernie. It looks proper neat. I'm really impressed with that. We've got to put lid on it, have we?
Yeah, try it first.
We're going to try it first. Now, Bernie says it's ready to run. I'm really nervous about pressing the button. The last time I pressed the button, it was, yeah, it was quite scary. So have I got to press the button? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you press it?
Yeah.
Should I use this like insulated screwdriver?
Just press it.
Just press it. Which one is it? That one?
Not the one, I think.
Oh.
That's the bed.
That's the what?
That's the bed. That's the hydraulic pump.
No. That's the hydraulic pump on top there.
Oh yeah.
So what's this one then? Oh no. It just made a burgling noise, Bernie.
Yeah.
Didn't like it, did it? Okay. Cut. Okay, YouTubers, it's time to start another engine. Now, this engine you may recognise. It's an Ian Carter 998, an original spec one, and you can see the beautiful cam carriers that he used to make from billet, you know, all drilled for feeds on every follower, etc. The head, lovely head on it, and I think it may even be etched up. It's a Carter 1000cc. So that's like his Super Clubman spec. Now, what's happened is, episode 25 for the keen Shrigleytube viewers amongst you, you might recall we did a one of 3 parts where at New Year I took this engine when I came in over Christmas and New Year, and I tried to run it, and it had a piston with a failed part. So we put a set of pistons in it, a set of wheel strings and a paper gasket, just slonked it together to get a tune out of it. And then in the last part of the video, there's a part 3 of 3, I went to visit Mrs. Carter, as she agreed, obviously, to speak to me. Obviously, Ian's long since deceased, but she's very kindly said she'd talk to me. So I went and interviewed her. That was great. So this engine I have subsequently sold to a chap abroad, and he's asked me to rebuild it. So I thought what we'll do is we'll pull it apart together. I'll get the liners out of it, and we'll get it ready for blasting, because this blue paint that Ian used to paint on all of his engines, unfortunately a lot of it's flaked off now. So what we'll do is we'll get it in a blaster, we'll get it all back to bare silver, and then we'll ask the customer if he wants it painting again or if he wants it leaving back silver, and we'll get the liners out, and anything exciting I see in there I will discuss with you as I go along. Okay, we have the Ian Carter special in pieces on the bench here. So I thought I'd just talk for a minute about some of the points that I found quite interesting whilst taking it apart. Obviously, it's a standard wet liner block. We'll get the liners out of that now, and then we can start getting it blasted and cleaned up, ready to re-glue the liners in, and we'll bore it to 73mm, which will make it a 1012cc. So we're going to fresh bore, new piston, etc. The engine actually is in superb condition. The bearings may look a little bit discoloured. These are proper old school lead Indian bearings, Van der Velde. You can't get this sort of stuff anymore. These were the best bearings back in the day. And this crankshaft, it actually mics up absolutely crack on. I can see that it's been nitrided as well by the discoloration, and obviously it's been balanced. You can see it's had some funny shapes taken out of it here, big flat on it there. So yeah, it's quite an interesting engine. The cam carrier is absolutely lovely on it. You know, you will have made that on, say, like an old Bridgeport, you know, with a book full of numbers to reference from. It's got a R23 camshaft in it, which we won't be leaving in for the chap that the engine's going to, because it's probably quite hard to deal with. In fact, I watched a video of it running on the dyno at Christmas in episode 5, and yeah, it wasn't particularly powerful, but it was all right. But yeah, they've definitely moved on from there. So what I was going to say was, things that interest me about this engine are the way we've changed. So back in the day, they had Castrol R40. That was your lubrication. Nowadays, we've got modern, fully synthetic oils that run up to 140 degrees without any issues. You know, the oil temperature is absolutely fine. You can't run input 140 degrees, obviously, but the oil, in theory, can go there without breaking down. So this is the oil pump. And if you look, he modified quite a lot of things. That little groove in that diameter there, that sits in a diameter in the housing. And the idea is that the oil squirts up to lubricate the gear. And you can see that Ian's also put another lubrication point in. So it's obviously quite important that this gear got really good lubrication. Now, as standard, they run a steel gear, and this is obviously an aftermarket bronze gear. The bronze gears are fitted to all the old school race engines. Now, I'll be honest, I've raced with this type of pump, and it is absolutely no problem at all if you run a standard oil pressure relief valve. So if you keep your oil pressure to 45-50 psi, this is no problem. Now, the reason why they put them on the bronze gear was because back in the day, when the oils probably weren't quite as good as they've got now, they ran a different system to how we run now. So say like this engine here of Ed's that we built very badly last week and it smoked. This engine runs a modern oil, and the tolerances on the crankshaft, it's all up on its tolerance. So the clearance on the big ends will be, say, maybe two and a bit thou. The mains cold, I'd want them to be 1.5 to 2 thou. And then it only runs 45 psi of oil pressure, although this is actually a bad example because it's Ed, and Ed's an oil pressure man because he's old school and he loves to see loads of oil pressure because it's just how the old school are, you know. Ed probably went to a scrapyard with his uncle as a kid and they went round looking for an engine for his, I don't know, for his Austin Maxi, and they probably went and started up 2 or 3 of them, and one of them will have had like 70 psi on idle, and they've gone, it's a good engine, that's got good oil pressure. So the old school love oil pressure. It's just the way they are. To me, it's just a drain of horsepower. But anyway, we won't get that's another subject, getting into oil pressure. But you just need it. It's called the supply pressure. The pressure is created within the journal. It's called the hydrophonic wedge. Google it. It's really interesting. As long as the oil gets to the journal, the oil will do its job with the bearing in the way that the clearance creates the pressure. Anyway. Oh, I can feel myself diverting it. Right, keep with the plan. So my engines, although this one does run a bronze gear, you can run the standard gear if you run a standard pressure relief valve, no problem at all. But a lot of people like to see lots of oil pressure for whatever reason. Obviously, when Ian built these engines back in the day, they only had Castrol R40 and they were using genuinely like 9,500 RPM. So giving the engine lots of oil pressure was a bit of a safety margin, really, to make sure the oil got to everywhere it needed to get to. Remember, you think the oil enters the crankshaft on this center main here, and it has to lubricate 2 bearings, not one. Like this one lubricates this one, and this one lubricates this one. But on this one, it's Siamese. So if you look into the hole there, you can even see Ian's made a big effort to tidy up the hole. You can see the little partition in the middle of the hole there, where the oil goes off this way and this way. And that's why your mains clearance is so important, because if you think about what's happening, when this is going round at 9,000 RPM, the oil has got to go against centrifugal force to the center line of the crankshaft before it can then go out to the big ends. So if there's an easier route for the oil to take, like this mains clearance has grown or it's out of tolerance or whatever, it will come out of the main bearing and not go against centrifugal force into the center. So then obviously we get blue big ends and rods coming out of blocks, and that's why it's always number 2 or 3 on a Hillman, because the oil feed is Siamese. It's always number 2 or 3 that fails. So to counteract this, what they did was they ran loads of pressure. So obviously running 80 psi of oil pressure with what we call a high pressure relief valve, this gear here would obviously get quite a hard time. Hence it's got 2 lubrication squirters at it, because it's got to squash that oil. Typically this type of engine, when it was cold, they would have to keep the RPM down until the oil got hot, because when you get to 100 psi plus, you run the risk of blowing the oil filter housing apart, because literally the filter cannot deal with the amount of pressure. I'll just show you something else here now. In this, this is the modified sport filter housing that is off this engine, and if you look, you'll see inside it has a little crossbar. Can you see it in the end of the pressure relief valve? And that is because what Ian's done is he's machined the end of it to take the pressure relief valve apart, and basically he will have put a stronger spring in there, or he will have packed the spring up to increase its pressure. So what happens is the oil builds up from the pump, the pressure, and then the relief valve blows it off into this area, and then this area here blows the oil back down into the sump, and that's that little bypass hole that comes out of here basically. So that's the other side of the filter housing. That's the return back to the sump. So really fascinating how much effort they went to, but this is what they had to do because they were stuck with a lubricant that wasn't as good as what we've got now. Now that we've got modern synthetic oil, we just don't have the same issues because the oil is so good at doing what it does, and we understand that the mains tolerance and all the rest of it, we bring it all right down to bottom limit so that when the engine's hot, we're keeping that oil going where it's supposed to go. Anyway, I'll try not to divert too much from the original chat, which I was going to say, look at the effort here. He's made like a little shroud to go around the pickup pipe. It's even got its own little personal stay bar. Obviously, these are the pistons that I put in it at Christmas time just to get a tune out of it. And we also changed the rod bolts because it was on the old school cap head bolts, which were okay because, again, it was all that was available. But now that we've got ARP, we always put ARP in because it's just far superior. So that's that. We'll modify this block to put a rear oil seal conversion on it, and we'll turn this down to 3 inches so that the seal can run it. And apart from that, that's the block strengthening kit. Obviously, it uses a stud and nut whereby how can it? Oh yeah, we've got a sample here, haven't we? This is an Ian Carter style one. So what they have is you have a steel plate to support the actual mains cap, only on the middle one, and then that's a nut that obviously holds the whole lot that way. And then this nut, which is loose, or what happens is we basically put a straight edge across here, and then we wind this up to give about a 10th thou preload, so that when we tighten the outside of the sump up, the plate has actually got forces pushing the whole of the mains cap that way, or should I say these studs. It's just a preload, because if you think every time the cylinder fires, what's actually trying to happen is it's trying to push the crankshaft out the bottom of the block, because it's always pushed on the same side as it goes round. So we're trying to counteract those issues, those forces, by putting a little bit of a preload on the centre main. Obviously, it also helps to hold it all in position, because if you can imagine, when it's going round 2 up, 2 down, 2 up, 2 down, we get what we call crank whip. I'll try and explain it on this one. So it's easier to see here. So you've got quite a lot of weight on that journal there. 2 of those going up, 2 of those going down. So each time the crank goes round, effectively, you're trying to not snap it, but, you know, at 9,000 RPM, can you imagine how busy it is inside? The stresses must be absolutely amazing. I mean, this is a great forging, don't get me wrong, but, you know, how they actually work is beyond me, because, you know, just to look at a crankshaft and lathe going around at 300 RPM, you think, crikey, that's got some speed on it. So at 9,000, you know, it's a bit of a testament really to the design of the Climax engine, which obviously this is all from, as to how well they cope with the RPM. Anyway, I can feel myself getting involved with the waffle again now, so we'll call it a day at that. I'll get this stripped down liners out and we'll get it blasted, and we'll revisit it at a later stage. Okay, YouTubers, picking up where we left off with Russell, when Russell and myself pushed the liners out of this block belonging to Peter. This is going to be the next one we build. So push the liners out. I've then blasted in the aqua blaster the block to get all the muck off it so it looks like new, nice and shiny. And then I've wire wheeled the liners and got all the old Loctite off, and I've just roughed it with a bit of 240s. I've used this little flap wheel on the end of my drill to rough up inside here, so that just gives the Loctite something to bite to, you know. What I'm going to do next is I can't do it on camera because it's a bit tricky, but I'm going to leg saw this in Loctite, put the liners in quickly, and then we'll put the clamps on, and the clamps hold the whole thing together, and we'll let it set for 48 hours. And then next stage, as you can see, the bore's just an old 72.5mm bore. When that's gone back in there, we put the bore mic down it. It'll be all shapes. So what we'll do is we'll bore it to 73mm, so it's a nice round circle, and then we'll hone it, and then it'll have the best chance of being a good engine then. And what I've done is, you can't actually see, there's just very, very faint number 1 there. So what I do is, before I push the liners out, I use the etcher to etch all the liners. This should just about go on. I reckon there's about 1 thou clearance in it. It sits nicely on that shelf down there. So I mark all the liners so they all go back in the same orientation, just because if there's any difference in the machining, what can happen is you can end up with 1 low and 1 high, etc. Whereas these should all be level with the block as it was originally machined. And if you ever hear people talk about a 998, ways of telling a 998, if you look down this hole here, you can see, zoom in, at the very top there, you can see the liner, the steel bit. So if everyone says, I've got a 998 for sale, and you're not 100% sure it is a 998, you can see where the shelf is there, where the waterway comes in. If you put a magnet down that hole, if it sticks and you know it's got a liner in it, there's a good chance it's a 998 or a 1040. So there you go, that's that. That's where we're at with it. We'll get them glued in now. Okay, we've got the Peter engine now with his timing cover on, and these liners are in, all nice and set. So they're back in. Obviously, it's going to need reboring now. So this is a 998 at 72.5 millimeters. We're going to go at 73 mil, which will give us 1012 cc. So next job is to put it on the milling machine, and we're going to deck it just to make sure that all the liners, if you just look at the top edge, there's just a little bit corrosion around the outside. Doesn't actually cause a problem, but while we're here, we're just going to give it a quick flash over, make sure it's all liners are all the correct height and the surfaces are all good. And then what we'll do after that is we'll transfer it to the boring machine and bore it and then hone it, then we'll clean it and get a build on. Okay, we've got Peter's block on the milling machine, and I've just done a minimum skim over the top. Now, quite interesting for me this, because what the tool doesn't lie, so we can see it's touched all the aluminium around the outside, but the liners are low. If I zoom in, you'll see obviously the aluminium's been machined. It's just started to kiss on the edge there, but round here we're not even touching the steel. So what that's basically telling me is that when the block came to me, the liners were all level, but they were sat on a very, very thin amount of Loctite. You know, on that shelf that we looked at the bottom of the index in the liner, in the block where the liner sat. So they were sat on a layer of Loctite. I've now cleaned all that off, and what I've done is I've put the liners in with fresh glue, and I've clamped the liners down. So put about a ton on them, so that it's holding the liner hard against the seat. Because what I don't want to happen, and what we have seen happen in the past, is for road use, no problem, they can sit on a layer of Loctite. But the Loctite goes a bit soft when it gets warm, and you get something called liner shuffle, where these aren't top out dry liners like the way I do it. These are the old school wet liners. So it's relying on the wheel string to hold it hard against that level in there. When they start to shuffle, it flattens off the wheel string, it starts to squash the Loctite out, and then they start to bleed. You get a misfire. What's that misfire? Only when it's hot, obviously when it's hot, because the expansion rate between here and here is different on the iron to the aluminium. So effectively, as it gets hotter, the block goes this way and the liner gets left behind, hence why the wheel string in the first place. But we won't go into all that now. Anyway, the point is, by making sure that the liner is hard against the seat, we know it'll never drop. Because if it drops just a couple of 3 thou, it's enough to cause water in the cylinder, etc. So yeah, pleasing that. We'll get another cut on and then we'll get on with the build. Okay, YouTubers, we've got a visitor. He's been here before. Introduce you to Mark. Mark Cistern. How you doing, Mark?
Morning, Andy.
Yeah, nice to see you. You've got another project for me, I believe.
Absolutely. We're going to put a 1040 in this.
A 1040 in this. What's it? Is this the works van, is it?
It is, yes.
Right, okay, yeah. Cool. Just let's see what's in the back of the works van. Is there some decent engineering in there?
I only stole this car this morning, so I've not really got to know much about it yet. But
who cleaned the wheels, mate?
Not me. Definitely not me.
You know what? I do like the colour. It's the same colour as my Sierra.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like a mercury grey, isn't it? Like a gunmetal grey.
Absolutely, yeah. Should we open it up?
What have we got in the back of the van anyway?
Bits for you.
Oh, I just love that. Electric boot, and you've got a real engine in the boot.
Absolutely, yeah. So, we're going to put this in the front of this, aren't we?
No, mate, I think we'll leave this as it is, but it is very nice. Just give us a quick rundown. What is it exactly? It's a Jaguar.
Jaguar F-Type. F-Type R.
It is beautiful, isn't it? Let's take a look inside. V8. How do you open the door?
Yeah, we press this thing here.
Oh my word, it's like a Tesla.
It's nothing like a Tesla.
It's not electric. Oh, it even smells nice. It says R for racing on dashboard.
Yeah,
mate, that it is a smart bus, isn't it?
it's all right. I like it actually. Yeah, I do like it.
Yeah, no, it's nice. I bet you enjoy going for a drive in it.
I do.
Unless you sat on the M56 in traffic going to my place.
Well, it's all right. It's
Very
comfy.
nice. Very nice. Excellent. Right.
All right.
What have we got here then?
Well, we've got a block, a cylinder head, and a few bits and pieces.
Right. Okay. Let's get them inside and we'll have another look at them.
All right.
Okay. We've got Mark in the workshop now. We've had a bit of a chat and we think we've made a plan on what we're going to do, haven't we, Mark?
It's a plan.
We've got a plan.
Yeah, it's a plan.
So the reason this engine's here is because this is the original engine for the red car.
Correct.
No,
Yes.
Red car, right.
Yeah.
So matching numbers.
Matching numbers. You can see I've cleaned it off to check.
Excellent.
So they're definitely the same numbers.
Right. So this is going to have dry liners put in it, and we're going to make it 998 or 1040.
1040.
1040. Right. Cool. And then this cylinder head. This is an Imp Sport head that you've got here.
Yeah.
We'll probably put a bit of weld on there just as a precaution. Not that it's cracked.
No.
Now I've actually seen his head before, haven't I?
You have. You've worked on this before. Yes.
Right. Okay. So it's got guides. It's not smoking or anything.
No. No.
Right. You're happy with all that?
Works very well. We're going to put bigger valves in it.
Do you want to put it on 1.3 inlets, yeah? 1.125 exhaust. I'll do that on that seat.
I think so. I've got the valves. You were with me when I bought them.
Oh, was that?
Remember?
Oh, was that? Right. Okay. Yeah, oh, National Weekend.
Yes.
Yes, I remember you bought them from Mark, didn't
I
you?
did.
Right.
I
Yeah,
can't
you
remember
got a
what
full
size they are. But
right.
you...
No problem. So, yeah, we bought the valves. That's cool. So, port work wise, it's all. I mean, the Imp Sport head flows quite nicely.
Yeah.
You're going to keep the Sport cam in it, are you?
Yes.
Right. That's perfect. We'll leave the head as it is. Just put bigger valves in it. Are we staying with the head gasket or wheel strings?
Wheels rings.
Wheels rings. Good man. Yeah. Do the job properly. Right. Wonderful. And then on the crankshaft side, you brought this crankshaft along, which is out of the engine you built yourself last time.
Yeah, it's out the engine that this was on top of,
which had the oversized pistons in it. And what? Oh no, this is what I've suggested to you, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, what I've suggested to Mark is we've started getting when we put them on the new pistons, the little ends are always a little bit marginal, and they can make the engines noisy. Not massively noisy, but when you get one that's right, you know it's right. So what we do now is we put new bushes in the little end to suit the new piston, so it's all nice and snug. But I've now got an abundance of 930 rods, because obviously I've got the 930 engines. So what I'm doing is, if you look at the 930, it's 11/16 pin. So it's a bigger diameter, but it's also wider, only by about 4 millimeters, but it offers more support to the pin. So if you look that width there compared to that one, you'll see it's wider. So what I think we'll do is send a brand new set of rods away. We'll get them rebushed to suit the 5/8 pin, and then that'll be really nice on your on your new piston and rod combo. And what that also we're going to do is, because we made a bit of a plan here when we were off camera. This is Mark's crankshaft out of the engine that ran with these pistons and that head. And it's how many miles it done?
23,000.
And it's absolute, because Mark looks after it. We just mic'd it up and the crank is crack on. So what we're going to do is Mark's going to take this away with these and build that bottom end back together.
Yep.
And then I'm going to supply him. This is a brand new 930 crank, which is also crack on, top limit. And it's part way through its machining, so you can see there's the rear bearing that I put in the back now to support the input shaft. That's instead of your needle roller spigot bush. So you can see originally they had an oil light bush in the back. Now obviously the later imps use a needle roller, but sometimes the needles fell apart on them. So this is my bulletproof way of fixing the job. Obviously it's been machined deeper because it is a 930 crank, so there's space now for the input shaft. This one's part machined, so next stage will be to drill the 4 holes for the flywheel, for the imp flywheel, and put the dowel in to locate the flywheel. So do your new crank, we'll blast this, we'll sort this out, run it all blasting a
Yes,
take
please.
it.
Yep.
We'll bore it, deck it, hone it, blah de blah, ready for you to take home. And then that's you sorted for Christmas Day,
Absolutely,
then, isn't it?
something to do. Yeah.
Do you want me to wrap it up for you?
I wouldn't wrap it. No.
Well,
Just put a bow on it.
A bow?
Yeah.
Is the missus going to be okay with you on Christmas Day building this up?
I think she'll be fine. Yeah.
You know what? It's better than being on the pub, isn't it? Staggering back at 4.
Actually, this is after the pub, so we'll be all right.
Oh, right.
We'll
See,
better.
oh, hang on. You can't start building Hillman engines when you've had a few beers. You might end up trapping an oil control ring like me, making a mess of it. Right. Well, thank you very much for being on Shrigleytube, Mark. We'll sit down and do some numbers now.
All right.
And then, yeah, brilliant. I'll look forward to I'll try and get it fast-tracked as soon as possible.
Thanks very much.
Okay, YouTubers, as predicted, it's been an absolutely shocking week for progress. That's the treasure for the NEC. Right, look at the van. She's a bit low. Hopefully, she'll make it. Just unloading at the NEC. And that's the stand there in its early stages. Look at this Moss Road gangster spider that's come all the way. Come on, buddy. Oh, he's a fast one. Not fast enough for me though. Ha ha ha. Right, where are we going to put you? Do you want to live in the van? You can live in the van if you want. Go in there. Good lad. He's got his new house in there now. Keep the van warm. Okay, YouTubers, we're at the NEC. There's Bergerac and his little Stratos. We'll go and catch him later. He's busy with customers. Very quiet today compared to Saturday and Sunday, Friday and Saturday. It's yesterday I couldn't even see. There's just people everywhere. You know, couldn't see the cars. So it's Sunday today. It's early in the morning. It's filling up rapidly. I thought I've just spotted this little Lancia, and now there's a group of people stood around it. I can't believe what amazing engineering went on back in the day. Look at this. It's a V8 quad cam, mechanically fuel injected, transversely mounted Ferrari engine in a Lancia. Look at that. So you could sense the missus, you bought a nice, sensible family car, but really, you've got like a race engine in it. Wicked. So look at these Talbot Sunbeams as well. These are lovely, these. The old slant 2.2 engine in them. I'm just trying to find the Audis, some nice Alans there. We're going to try and find an Audi. Well, what's that there? That looks interesting. I wonder if it's a twin cam engine one or a Renault Dauphine engine one. Or it's a Renault engine Lotus. I haven't seen one of these for a long time. A Fiat Mirafiori, look at that. Bet it's a 2-litre twin cam. A lovely little car. Right, this Lancia that I've just been raving about with the Ferrari engine, I came across the owner by accident whilst waiting for Bergerac. This is Miran, and he's very kindly agreed to talk to us about the car for a minute. How long have you owned the car for?
About 4 years.
Wow.
4 years. Good runner.
That is what an absolutely wonderful bit of engineering. V8, manual gearbox, mechanical fuel injection. It's mega.
Everything original. That's how you want it. You don't want to go away from OEM. They knew what they were doing.
Yeah, absolutely. What year is it?
87.
87. Wow. How many miles to the gallon does it do?
It does 30 miles a gallon actually.
On the run,
Yeah, on the motorway run I can push it up to 32 if you're very careful, but you can take it down to 10, 12 if you really want to.
Does it make a nice noise?
It makes a fabulous thunder noise.
Wow, I mean, the engine must be worth an absolute fortune.
I don't want to know.
It looks like a race engine. The flat cam covers, 16 valve. Oh, obviously
32
valve. Yeah.
Yeah. That's where the 832 comes from, of 8 cylinders, 32 valves.
Right, I'll try and get a bit of a video of the car. I'll just get the back. I'm not at the back of it yet. Oh, it's got a little boot spoiler. Is that standard?
So the boot spoiler is on the 832 only, and it retracts away. It's the first ever retractable aerofoil. Unlike the other ones, it looks good out or in, as you wish. Wow. And when it retracts, it's completely flush.
That is stunning, mate. Are they expensive cars, these?
Yeah, you can see them up to 45,000 euros now in Europe.
Yeah.
If you have one in mediocre condition or the interior is not perfect, then it's going to be tough because it's all Alcantara grade 3 interior.
Oh,
even the roof lining is all Alcantara with the perfect stitching.
Oh,
you're really talking kind of different levels of luxury. Then the dashboard is all walnut.
Wow, do you mind if I say?
Go.
Thank you. Wow, look at this, like an armchair.
So you wouldn't tell this is 180,000 kilometers.
Wow. Even the dashboard's got like leather stitching on it.
For the sake of video, we'll have to switch all the ignition on just to see.
Yeah, don't start the engine.
Don't
you
start the engine.
You get us thrown out.
We'll get very told off.
Is there a lights I can put on to make the lights light up?
Yeah, the lights are on.
Oh, are they on? Oh, my phone's a bit dim. Wow, look at that.
So they're yellow like the Delta.
Yeah.
But the speedo goes up to 280 kilometers an hour. So 100.
It's even not stitching in the headlining, mate. We don't make stuff like this. Well, we never made stuff like this because it's Italian, but I mean, it's.
And then listen to it shut. You know, proper clunk. Happy days.
Well, that is absolutely stunning. I mean, I've got to be honest, it's the engine I'm in love with. But the rest of the car is nicely finished, definitely.
People have no idea what it's like until you suddenly start the engine and they go like, what's going on? Have you souped it up? No, it's all standard. And
Wow.
that pinstripe, look at the detail of that pinstripe
Yeah.
that goes gently along. So this is Guajara at his best.
Wow.
All that origami shape of making sure that it looks like folded paper, but the curves are really subtle.
Yeah, and I believe you're actually, we were talking before, you're from the same areas, but I'm in Timperley, obviously.
Yeah,
You're
we're in
Sale,
South Manchester, yeah. lovely
Bergerac's
place.
in Charlton, and we're also local.
Yeah.
So how long have you known Richard for?
A couple of years, yeah, because he has a couple of Lancias.
Yeah.
Bergerac has all the right Lancias of the quirky things, the things that no one knows about. People go a Lambda or Fulvia, they recognize them. He has a Thesis, he has obviously the Stratos and the Y. I have the Thema, which people are like, oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, wow.
Unknown supercars.
Unknown supercars. He loves that Thesis thing. I just can't. It's like a Ford Scorpio. Like
You have to know. Yeah, you have to love it.
Yeah. Well, Miran, thank you so much for talking to us. It's been a pleasure. If you want to see yourself and your car, just click on Shrigleytube on Sunday night. Tonight at 7 you'll be on. I'll try and get loaded up this afternoon.
Like and subscribe.
Thank you very much. Okay, we've tracked him down because
Good morning.
All the viewers are, where's Bergerac? Is Bergerac on your stand? Have we got £1 for everybody who came to my stand and said, is Bergerac with you today? I'm like, no, he's in Hall 2 with his CR7.
I haven't been able to escape to come and see you. It's been that busy this weekend. I haven't seen any other cars here.
It's been absolutely mega, mate. I can't believe
It's a great show.
You know Big Lee, Jack's dad?
I do.
He was telling me to take all my treasure that's on the auto jumble stand to Stretford Tip.
Oh.
Yeah. And I brought it here.
So you brought it here
And
instead.
there was a dashboard, and I sold it for £50. And he said that no one ever buy that. A dashboard with small dials in it. So I took a picture of the bloke who bought it and said,
Holding the dashboard.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, more importantly, Richard, how is the sales department?
Richard,
Oh,
you've given
sorry.
away my real name.
Oh no, sorry, Bergerac. How's sales department?
Yeah, good. This has had a lot of interest over the weekend.
I know there's a constant crowd. Look,
There's a constant crowd of
You've got
people.
your friends over there with more Stratoses.
Yeah, we call them Stratoses.
Stratosis.
Stratoses.
Sounds like a disease, doesn't it? I've got astrasosis. Right.
But no, it's going well. I gave it a quick wipe down when I got here.
I'm gonna say, mate, it looks
Looking clean, isn't it?
looking clean. I do wish you fixed that window. Did it fall off the rails again?
Yeah. Trouble is, you can't get TR7 window winder mechanisms anymore. So we're still,
Mate, go on Facebook and join the CR7 owners group and ask the question.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get
I'm
one.
sure they'll hook you up. Do your pop-up headlights work okay?
Of course they do.
Oh,
Of
brilliant.
course they do.
Right, Berge, thanks very much for talking. I'll see you
I'll have to
tomorrow.
come and buy some scrap from you. Sorry, some
Will you come
wonderful
will you come
parts.
over
I'll
to
come
my
and see you
stand?
later on today. Yeah.
Honestly, mate,
It's a little bit quieter today, isn't it?
Oh
So-
yeah, it's much quieter.
Yeah.
Much quieter. Brilliant. Right, have a good one.
See you
This is
soon.
the trade stand. We've got Mr. Will Parry and Mr. Benoy. They've been absolutely superb all weekend, helping to sell the stuff. Look who we've got here. It's Nigel from episode number.
Oh, I have got them down.
Yeah, it's about
26.
26, is it?
Yeah.
How's it going, Nigel? You enjoying the show?
Oh, I love it, yeah.
Excellent.
Bit tired though, it's a big place.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if you're trying to move anywhere fast, you bump into people all the time.
Yeah, you do.
But no, it's been stunning for us. We've had a really good do. We've talked to loads of people. I've had loads of nice people come up to me and say how much they enjoy Shrigleytube.
Oh, I do.
And everyone asks the same question. Where's Bergerac?
Yeah.
He's in Hall 2. Anyway, are you still watching the videos on Sunday
Every
night?
Sunday night, plus your midweek ones.
Oh, do you watch the stock car
Yeah,
videos?
I love the stock car race.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
I used to go to Alderton Stadium in Sheffield with
Brilliant.
my dad when I was little.
did
So,
you really? Will you come to Bradford with me one day?
Probably one day, yes.
Brilliant. We just missed it. It was on last night.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the person I wanted to win didn't win, but the guy that was the best driver, I'm afraid, did win. We're not going to mention any names.
No,
But,
Alderton Stadium in Sheffield. It's also a dog racing stadium
Yeah.
as well. So, but yeah, I used to go there as a little lad and go to Sheffield Wednesday just across the road to see
Wow.
them playing.
No
So-
way. So you enjoy the stock? Because
Yeah.
a lot of people don't sort of gel to it, but I love the stock car.
Yeah. So
Brilliant.
am I the only one that likes stock car racing?
That's been on the stand today. Most people say, "Oh, anyway, we won't go into all that.
No,
It's all good, isn't it?"
No, I do enjoy it. I do prefer the Sunday night one.
Do
I
you?
like to get into the technical stuff.
Oh, you like the technical?
So,
We've got a
yeah.
bit of technical for you tonight, anyway.
Have you? Right,
Yeah,
good.
I'm going to sit on the stand now and do my upload because I've got to get it on for 7
Oh,
o'clock tonight, or I'll be in trouble.
Okay, well, I'll leave you to it then.
Top man. Thank you, Nigel.
You're welcome.
See you soon. See you, pal. Okay, YouTubers, I've just found a subscriber on the very next stand to me. This is Guy. Welcome to the show, Guy. Thank you for agreeing to be on. Can you put this a little about there? That's
No worries.
perfect, mate. Yeah, I was just going to say, how's the show been for you, mate?
Yeah, it's been good, yeah. I always think it's a really good show here and I enjoy it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like really enjoyable. And, so we sold a bit of stuff.
Good.
Meet some interesting people, so.
It's a lot of good people here, isn't there? Really good talking, yeah.
It really is. And I think you get serious people here as well, so it's always enjoyable. I enjoy it. Yeah, it's a good show.
Are you going to do race retro?
Definitely. Always do race retro, yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
We've got some nice bits from them as well, so yeah.
You have you can't really see his stand. It's full of like crankshafts and con rods and all Lotus tuning parts. And
Yeah.
he's done a bit of racing. This guy. He's a bit of an oval specialist, aren't you?
Oh, we are. We've got to talk about oval. We must keep talking about oval racing.
Yeah,
It's
well,
important.
I've just had a bloke on my stand, and he said, "I really enjoy the midweek videos for the stock cars." I was like, "Yes."
Well, I do as well.
Oh, you
so,
do?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So we've got to do. We've got to keep going with the oval talk. It's important.
Last night, I came over to see Guy, and I said, "Guy, are we going to jump in the car and fly up to Bradford and watch the F1 stock cars?" But we were both too committed.
We were, but we wanted to, didn't we? We could have done it. We should have done it, really. In hindsight, we should have done it.
I know, but unfortunately, congratulations to Tom Harris. Anyway, he won. That's what we'll say.
Yeah. He's the man though at the minute, isn't he? He is amazing.
Oh man, another level.
It is another level. He's incredible. What he does is incredible. The way he drives is super.
He can drive, and he's got the Frosty's secret formula on how to build a stock car.
He has indeed. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And he's good looking lad as well, isn't he? Good looking chap. You know what I mean? It makes difference, doesn't it? You don't be ugly racing, do you?
I hadn't even thought of that aspect, mate. So just briefly, Guy.
Yeah.
What was it you raced?
I race National Hot Rods.
National Hot Rods.
Yeah, I race National Hot Rods. I'm just building another car at the minute, and Andy's going to do me a red top for it.
Oh.
So I've got a red top, but it needs a bit of freshening up. So he's going to come to Andy and he's going to look at it.
We'll sort you out. Guy, I'll let you get back to your stand. Thank you for being on Shrigleytube.
Thank you.
Just stay awake to the end.
Yeah, just about. Always. No, we do, honestly. We love it. We do it. Even Mrs. sits and the dog.
And the dog.
And the dog as well. The dog loves it as well.
Brilliant. All right, thanks, Guy. Brilliant, that, mate.
Take care. Thanks.
Cheers.